In this video, we're going to discuss how we should fasten this plate to this plate, and does it need alignment dowel pins or not. But before we do that, we might notice that on top of here we haven't added two tapped holes, so we can push this part off when it's time to disassemble, as we did over here earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. I've gone ahead and I've added two 3/8/16 tapped holes to aid in the disassembly of this. And next, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add two more 5/16 socket head cap screw holes through here and tapped holes here so I can bolt these together. So I've gone ahead and added clearance holes for 5/16 18 socket head cap screws and put the socket head cap screws in, as well as tapped holes into this part. I chose 5/16 18 because I want the same screws up here, and I also have them at the same location. I want to minimize error for people making these, and repeating the same location and size just makes things simpler. So let's go back and look at our isometric view. One of the last things we need to consider here is, do I need dowels joining these two plates? So let's rotate around here and have a look and think about that. Well, the answer is yes and no. It depends on how this jig will now be used. If this jig is just going to a drill press with a table and somebody's going to slide it in position under the drill and bring the drill down, then no, it does not need dowels, because it doesn't matter how often we disassemble and reassemble this, the little bit of positional error here won't matter. However, if this jig is going to a drill press where it's going to be located against locators and clamped down, then yes, we want it to be repeatable and reliable. So that will be determined once we know what machine it's going on. Wouldn't hurt to go ahead and add dowels, but it may not be required. The other thing we do want to add is we should add, again, two holes to push this off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add two tapped holes so this can be pushed apart. So I've gone ahead and again I've added two 3/8/16 tapped holes so I can put bolts into here and push these two parts apart with ease. So again, let's go back to the isometric view. And we're almost at the part now where we're done our jig. One of the last things we need to do is go and choose an appropriate material for all parts and then add that to them. And we'll do that in the next video. We should also take a minute and look at it and look for any features missing that we might want to add. And one of the last things we would do at this point, so I'm going to come up here to the drop down menu and I'm going to turn on Insert, Reference Geometry, and I want to see the center of mass. So we're going to let that turn on. And then I would look at my part here, and I want a really good idea where that center of mass is. Right now I just want to use it as a visual, so I can visually see if my jig is going to tip. I don't want this to tip over. And I should also check where the center of mass is when it's empty. So I should take a minute, look at it from each various face, and it's almost dead center on this jig, which is great, meaning it's not likely to fall over on its own. So it's going to go back here. I'm going to hide the center of mass for now. We'll turn it back on as we add material and see if that causes anything to shift. So in the next video, we'll start our examination of what materials are appropriate for which part of the jig.